Welcome. Here we are in the Stilts shop. We're going to make stilts today. To make stilts, we start with this piece of wood. This piece of wood is a 1x2, which measures 3/4 by 1.5 inches. Now, if you notice, the side of the boards are very sharp. What would you suggest that we do to trim the side? A saw? No, we don't use a saw. Sandpaper? Sandpaper is good, but it takes a little time. What we're going to use is a block plane. And to do that, we're going to set it in our vise. Clamp it down. And we're going to use this item here. This item here is called the block plane. It's very sharp. And the way you use this is you always go with the green. Start like this. And you want to get a nice little bit like that. When you're done with this, you just got to be very careful with it. And one of the safety things on this block plane is you never want to set it on the blade. You always want to set it on the bench sideways. Of course, there's 4 sides to this piece of wood, so we got to do 4 sides. Always keeping it at a 45. If you notice, I flipped the board over, so that means I turn this way the grain is. So when I flip the board over, that means I got a plane from the other side. Now if you feel this, you'll see that the edges are cut and you don't have any sharp edges. Next we take this board and we're going to mark it. And to mark it, we use this item here. Does anybody know what this is? Yes, you're right, it is a square. Measures 12 inches this way, 8 inches this way. And to do this, we set this on the bottom here. And we got to mark it. Now to mark it, we have these 2 instruments. What are these called? Yep, one's round and one's flat, you're right. But this is a carpenter's pencil. This is a regular pencil you have in school. Now if you have pencils like this in school and you drop them on your desk, they stay there. Not roll away and ask, you need another pencil. So we're going to mark. We're going to take the pencil, we're going to draw a straight line on here. And we know it's a foot high. And then, working as a team, you're supposed to take this as a step, and you're supposed to place this on that line. It's got to go on the line the right way. That's wrong. That's not right. That way is correct. Now when you're holding this where it's supposed to be, oh, by the way, does anybody know what this is called? It's a hammer. You're right, it is a hammer, but it's a carpenter's hammer. We use a punch or a set, put it in the hole, make sure it's on the line, and do a small tap to mark the wood on behind it, below it. Hopefully I did it. You got 2 marks. See the 2 marks? 2 marks here for drilling. You take another board, and we're going to put another board right behind it. Why do we put another board behind it? It's because of tear out. We don't want tear out. And tear out is stuff like this. This is tear out. We do not want that. We want it to be nice and round. To do this, we also use a small clamp to keep the pieces together. We use this right here. What is this called? It's a drill. You're right, it is a drill, but what kind of drill is it? It's a bit and a brace. And the way the bit and brace is used, you place it in a hole spot, keeping it at a right angle, put pressure on it, and drill in the clockwise direction to put a hole in here. And then we do the other one. Now during this, I ask questions. Does anybody have any questions? No questions, we continue. See? No 2 holes, no tear up. We use this little contraption here too. This is just a piece of wood I made. So when we assemble this, everything will go together nicely. Put this where this belongs, and then we use these bolts. Does anybody know what kind of bolt these are? No? These are called carriage bolts because they're flat, rounded on one side, and have a locking square on the inside. That's placed into the hole using a hammer. You gotta set it home. Do the same thing the other one. Make sure it's square. It should go right through. Very good. Came out nice. Next we need is 2 flat washers. Okay, we got 2 flat washers. And the way flat washers are made, I can go to that and do that some other time. Put 2 washers on here. 2 nuts. Remember, when you put a nut on it, it's always turn it to the right to tighten it up. And once you tighten it up, use this. This is a box wrench. Take the box wrench, place it on the nut, and tighten it. After you tighten it, you've made a stilt. And you made it correctly because it's square. It's not hanging off the sides, it's right where it's supposed to be. And that's one stilt. Now we continue to make another one. But until we do, what we do now is we're going to go outside and we're going to walk on them. So everybody can follow me and we can go outside. The reason why they would teach the children how to make stilts and everything is to learn about tools. Each tool, it does a different thing. If the farmer or if the booths are out in the farm and he needed something out in the farm like a wrench, and they sent somebody back here to the shop to get a wrench, they wouldn't bring them this hammer, or they wouldn't bring them a square. They would actually bring them a wrench because they knew what a wrench was. Now if you needed something else, like an axe, they'd bring them an axe because this is what an axe is. They wouldn't bring them, again, the hammer. All the tools are very important to know, knowledge. So basically, that's it. And especially tightening, learning how to tighten screws and everything, and which way the washers go. Because if you look at the washer itself, you don't want the washer to move. So if you put it on the bench and it's flat, it's forever hard to move. But if you put the round side down, it's easy to move. So basically, it's also to learn about the hardware that goes into the making of the stilts. And that's it.
Plus, then they have something to play with too.
Right. Plus, right, they can go out and then they learn how to walk them. We take them outside and we show them how to walk on the stilts. I don't walk on them, but they do. Right. And when they go out there, they have a habit. Okay? The way these stilts are made, and the way this is supposed to be done. Okay? When walking on these stilts, you always put your stilts behind your shoulders. You put your instep on the stilt. Okay, both sides. And then you get up on them. And you walk, get your balance, you take one step at a time. But somehow, they like to walk like this. Doesn't work that way. You have to keep your feet straight, one in front of the other. So, good luck, have fun, enjoy walking on the stilts that you've made.